We need to redefine the word billionaire. We need to redefine the word billionaire to be not someone who has $1 billion or £1 billion, but to be someone who impacts the lives of 1 billion people. Jay.
Sabina, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hey Sharon. Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And so 3 things we wanted to talk to you about today. One is just how you're, using Facebook as a platform in terms of uploading your content and managing it. We then wanted to jump into talking a little bit about how you use Facebook for mobile. And we have a bunch of questions there that John's going to take us through. And then the last topic we want to jump to is playlists. And what about community management? So commenting.
Yes, I do all my
DMing.
commenting. I do all my commenting and DMing. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
all me. Anything that's a comment with my name on is me. Yeah,
Wow.
that's me.
Actually.
So I run everything
Yep.
off of Pages
Okay.
Manager, so that's why
That's
I can
great.
comment as me.
Yeah.
Because the other app doesn't allow me to do that.
Okay.
I'm happy to use anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all mobile. I'm barely on my desktop.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that on Facebook, highly produced content was better. Like well-produced, beautiful-looking content. Like content. When I say beautiful, I don't mean like TV level.
Right.
But a lot of the stuff on Facebook is a lot more highly produced than someone standing in their
Higher end
bedroom with
or
their
something.
camera. The things here are like sharing with friends, support network naturally, safety of having your friends, family from across the world as well,
Yes,
like that
global
global
perspective.
perspective. And then building relationships with creators. I love being around Jess because she says such millennial things.
Like,
life changing. Like they just over amplify everything. So like, and we're both millennials too, but they're like the younger millennials. And it's like, so then she goes, then she saw a picture of at the SAG Awards, she saw a picture of Margot Robbie, and she goes to me, we don't deserve her. Like we just don't deserve her. She's so beautiful.
Just had an amazing day at Facebook. I'm always super honest when I'm working on the platform, and I think it's really important for all creators to do that. Like just being really honest about what's working for you, what's not working for you. So we had some really deep conversations, some quite intense ones, but all positive, all good stuff. I love having Facebook as a partner. They've been incredible in helping me map out my journey and working with me. So yeah, it's been a great day, man. I'm so excited to share my first ever episode with you. Thank you for being here. I hope you've subscribed, rated, and reviewed. It would mean so much to me. So the biggest news today is we just launched the podcast. The podcast is called On Purpose. It's available absolutely everywhere, iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere else. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do a podcast for so long, and it's finally here. So today's podcast launch day. That's where my mind's at. That's where my energy's at. Thank you, Jess. So many of our interviews today, so many of our conversations today don't look beyond the athlete, don't look beyond the business, don't look beyond what we think that person is. So for me, I wanted to create a podcast where I could speak to people and look beyond who they were externally, i.e. actors, athletes, comedians, etc., and actually dive into their heart, their passion, their purpose. I've been so fortunate to have incredible conversations my whole life with amazing people, and I always think that people would love to have been in that conversation, or I know about conversations that I wish I could have been in, and then I would have been like, oh, I wish I could have sat in on that conversation. And I look back at times in my life when I learn about conversations that changed my life. So I always quote a conversation between Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. I always quote a conversation between Mark Zuckerberg and Prime Minister Modi. And it's like, I'm always quoting conversations because you learn so much from a conversation. So I wanted people to be able to learn from conversations I was having with incredible people that I know. And I thought all I have to do is put a camera on and record this, and then everyone gets access to it.
Most watched video on Facebook worldwide last year, 367 million views. So please give it up for Jay Shetty. Come on, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks so much. And I thought that blew me away, that the top 500 posts on a platform like Facebook were meaningful, happy, positive, uplifting. And to me, that was less about my videos and just about how beautiful it was that we live in a world where people are looking
for answers. People are looking for learning. People are looking to thrive, to be happier, live more meaningful lives. I mean, what an incredible world that's what people are searching for on a platform like Facebook. And this year on the platform, I raised around over $200,000 for a charity of my choice, which was a mix of raising money from my community and then me donating personally as well. So that was super meaningful. And that's really where my impact stands. That's where my focus has always been. It's where my heart is. It's why I started this in the first place. What I was saying to someone yesterday is that I don't think school or education taught us what we really need to navigate life. So we never learned about emotional intelligence. We never learned about stress management. We never learned about how to do conflict resolution. We never learned about how to be aware of yourself and how to pick the right partner and all of these like really basic things that everyone goes through on a daily basis. And we were never trained in any of those things. And I'm not saying I'm the expert, but I know people who are. I've got some insights and experiences. So my whole goal is, how do I create an entertaining and engaging version of education? I 100% believe that we're the curators of our own newsfeed. Like whatever's on your newsfeed is feeding your mind, and what's on your newsfeed is your choice. So I can literally go to my newsfeed and find nothing negative. And a lot of people can go to their newsfeed and find only negative. It's the same as in our circles. I think I spend time with a lot of positive people. I know a lot of people who message me and say, Jay, everyone I'm surrounded by is negative. And so I feel like it all comes down to our choice. So one of the things we learned as a monk, which I absolutely love, is that nothing is good or bad. Everything is given meaning by how you use it. So like this bottle's not good or bad. You can either fill it with water or you can fill it with poison. The bottle's not good or bad. So social media in and of itself is just a tool. It's given meaning by how you use it and how the influencers use it. And so my message to users, as a user myself, is just curate your feed to be what you want to see, right? It's as simple as that. Yeah, absolutely.
Real talk at Facebook.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. When I
Yep.
met at his house, like, and his wife.
Perfect. Thank you, Ollie. I really appreciate it, man. Looking forward to seeing you. Take care. Thanks, bye. To you with something, and then again, you would have said the same thing to me, half a year ago. I didn't want to write a book because I could.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point, and that's why it's taken me so long.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be an influencer who wrote a book. I wanted to be an author who wrote a book.
Yeah.
And I want to be,
Yeah.
and that was a big part of it for me. I want the book to be more, when I say light-hearted, I don't mean that the subject matter is light-hearted, but the way I would present it when I'm traveling and doing the media tour would be far more taking it less seriously and being able to be playful with it and about my own experience, yet still having that gravity to what I've been able to do and learn. But I think that's very important to me. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to my Facebook Live. Hope you're having an incredible day and week wherever you are in the world. I have just launched my brand new podcast. So if you're a podcast listener, type yes in the comments so that I know that. I interview my wife on my first ever episode. We talk about how we met. We talk about some of the challenges we've had. We've talked about how we've overcome them. We talk about our favorite things to do together. And in that, I also share some insights into relationships that I think are going to be really useful to you in your own lives as well. Have an amazing one. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully you're going to go listen now. Take care. Hey, man. Good to meet you finally. How's it going? Yeah, really well, man.
You good?
Yeah, you're better looking in person, you are. Oh. That's the only reason why I started making media. I totally believe that media is where we're going to shift culture and consciousness and shift mindsets. Nowhere else is going to do it better. Like you can't, to be honest, no matter how big a book gets, like books will be read by millions, TV will be consumed by billions. You'll never compete. Social media will be billions.
What happens if you look at every component of that and challenge it and do it differently? And I suppose that's the kind of setup that we almost don't want to get into too much detail.
Sure, I get that.
It's the concept, I suppose.
We're living in one of the most interesting times ever. Everyone's able to question everything. No longer is there a simple method of accepting any authority or any background or any teachers or guides. We're looking for alternatives, new answers, new ways of doing things on a daily basis. We've got access to ask any question in the world and get any answers. So that leads us to not believe everything immediately when we hear it, but it gives us an opportunity to dive into deeper things. And I think the most interesting thing is that we've begun to question religion. We then led on to question governments and politics. When I was disillusioned, or when I was questioning, more appropriately, when I was questioning my truth, when I was questioning my path in life, if I didn't have the alternative to go and live as a monk, I would have had to settle for what I had. And that's the biggest challenge we see in the world today, is that
people can't test alternatives because they don't see them enough. They don't even know that they exist.